All right, let's start with a little puzzle. It's something you've probably noticed before. How can the exact same words feel totally different just depending on who said them? So check this out. On the screen, you've got two sentences. The words, exactly the same. Don't bow your head. Look the world straight in the eye. And they're pretty good words on their own. But that sentence on the right, it just feels different, doesn't it? It's got more gravity, more weight. And it all comes down to two little words, Helen Keller. So what is going on here? I mean, really, what's the magic trick? How can just adding a name completely change the vibe of a sentence? The letters are the same, the words are the same, but the feeling, totally different. Well, there's a name for this. It's called the authority effect, and it's a super interesting psychological quirk. Basically, it means we're wired to give more weight, more trust to a message if it comes from someone or something we see as an authority. So it's not just what's being said, it's who we think said it. That's the game changer. And this isn't just some fun fact about quotes. This is a seriously powerful tool that's used everywhere. So let's take a look at the authority effect in action, out in the wild, from big lecture halls all the way to slick marketing campaigns. Okay, here's a classic. It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. Great line, right? Inspiring stuff. But then you find out it's from William Shakespeare. And suddenly it's not just a great line. It feels like a universal truth carved in stone. So how can we actually use that power? Let's run a little experiment. Imagine you're in a big room and I get up on stage and say, "Hey everyone, please introduce yourself to the person next to you." What happens? A little bit of awkward shuffling, right? Some hesitation. But what if I try this instead? As Shakespeare wrote, shall we take a moment to introduce ourselves? See what I did there? It's a totally different feeling. It's not just a weird request anymore. It's purposeful. And trust me, people jump right in. Right there, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Same request, but with a whole lot more authority. By borrowing a little bit of Shakespeare's credibility, the ask becomes way more persuasive. That's the key takeaway here. Authority gives your words some serious juice. Okay, so if this works in a room full of people, you can bet that the world of business and marketing has figured this out. In fact, they've turned it into a science. This is where the authority effect really goes to work, building trust and credibility. And you see this all the time once you start looking for it. Things like an inventory system used by Samsung, or a maker favored by Bill Gates. How about used by the global company Google? When you see a quote from Apple founder Steve Jobs, you stop and read it, right? But hey, it doesn't have to be these huge global names. It works on a local level too. Think about seeing recognized as a local specialty by the Chamber of Commerce or winner of a local contest. It all does the same thing. So what does all this tell us? It's pretty simple, really. The source of the authority just needs to be someone or something your audience trusts. It could be a giant brand like Google, or it could be the local Chamber of Commerce. Doesn't matter. The point is, when you borrow that credibility, it makes your own message feel that much more solid, that much more trustworthy. All right, let's wrap this up. Let's get to the big takeaway here, the connection between words, names, and power. And it really boils down to this. Words persuade, but names empower. So if you ever feel like your message just isn't landing, think about whose strength you can borrow. Think about the people, the brands, the institutions that your audience already looks up to. Which leaves us with one final question for you. Whose authority could empower your message? Seriously, think about it. Next time you're writing an email, building a presentation, whatever it is, remember that the best words in the world get even better when they're standing on the shoulders of giants.